Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Channel 2 of the Saudi Arabian television. This is Ahmed Al-Tahini welcoming you to a special program on this great occasion, the allegiance occasion to the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah ibn Abdul Aziz. The reign of King Abdullah ibn Abdul Aziz has witnessed wonderful achievements, wonderful periods of accomplishments in the history of economic reform in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. With the past years had a lot of developments and reform with a comprehensive regulatory and economic and educational regulatory program or rules to show that the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has led in many ways the region to a better position in the globe. Those achievements were a result of the decisions of reform, balance in all levels of political, economic, cultural and social development. With me in the studio is Mr. طلعت حافظ from the Saudi Bank's Media and Banking Awareness Committee, who is the Secretary General of the Saudi Bank's Media and Banking Awareness Committee. Mr. Hafez, thank you very much for being with us.
Well, thank you for having me on the show, Mr. Ahmed, and also for the viewers. And let me take this opportunity really to express my, being a citizen, express my happiness and my feeling for this 5th year anniversary of custodian of the Holy Mosque, King Abdullah bin Abdul Aziz, taking power. And as you said, a great achievement, great achievement that we will be addressing, hopefully, as much as we can.
Interesting titles, King of Humanity, the Kingdom of Humanity. We also have lots of achievements in regards to the economic aspect,
yes.
Or the economic field. Let's focus in this hour on the achievements of the custodians of the Holy Mosques in the economic field specifically.
Let's address, to begin with, on the macro level. On the macro level, I think in that 5 years we were very successful in diversifying the economy. Remember, Ahmed, we used to, until recently, rely very much on oil as being the major resource of the revenue for the kingdom, whether being the budget of Saudi Arabia or otherwise. But within these 5 years, I think we were able to achieve some diversity. We're not yet there. But however, I think we were very successful not to rely very much on oil, but to use alternative source of revenue, i.e. the petrochemicals, or it's been known as the downstream industries, if you will. Tourism is another revenue source that we are trying to create and to rely very much in the economy. But also to improve the trading, overall trading aspect. Don't forget also the investment side. The FDI, the foreign direct investment, is another source, in fact, for the kingdom. So I think if we succeeded very well by defining the problem for economy, being a single economy or single revenue source economy, to the diversity level that we're trying to achieve. And hopefully within the years to come that we will be, I won't say 100%, not depending on oil, but again to diversify and to have a basket of revenue that we could rely on oil and other resource of revenue that would back up the oil prices in case they fall down.
Excellent. Let's look specifically at the financial industries,
yes.
Or the financial services industry, and banking also specifically, since you are the Secretary General of the Saudi Bank's Media and Banking Awareness Committee. I'm sure you can give us some in-depth analysis or coverage of how much advanced are we regionally and globally, and what are the major accomplishments in this?
Well, I believe the major accomplishment in the years, in fact, the major, the financial crisis. Right. The Saudi bank system managed really to swiftly deal with the financial crisis. And I'm not saying we were not affected, to be honest, but we were affected in a very indirect way, i.e. not to affect our business, overall business, or our relation with our esteemed customers, or our deposit level. Of course, the Saudi Monetary Agency, SAMA, has did a great job in that regard since since the financial crisis has broke back in mid 2008, when really the Lehman Brothers bank took a dive and announced his closed down. We had no problem since then. We had a lot of liquidity in the system. Plus, we had a lot of help from SAMA, the central bank, is to continue our normal business as usual, like as the financial crisis did not came into the place. And it worked very well so far. As a matter of fact, we are now a model, a role model for the rest of the financial sector. We were criticized, by the way, Mr. Ahmed, before the financial crisis broke.
For being conservative.
Indeed, indeed.
Yes.
From you name it. But who, those you name it, they were criticizing us about before the fact, they came and they told us, tell us the secret. Why you gentlemen still around, still making profit? We had a bit decrease of profit in some of the banking, but that's normal because of the psychological impact and effect of the financial crisis.
Absolutely, yes.
But yet we did not have any bank, hopefully never the case, announced that it's out of business or has closed its doors to the public. So I think this is a great success, in my opinion,
definitely,
for the financial sector, and specifically, in specific terms, is the banking sector.
Right. How are the Saudi banks categorized according to international standards? Are they among the best? Are they among the average? Or are they, where do they stand?
I believe we are among the best, especially when you talk about IT. We are very advanced in IT and electronic banking. Remember, Mr. Ahmed, a couple of years back, I mean, not more than 10 years back, when you used to cash a check, you have to go to the same bank, to the same branch.
Sure.
And even if you want to cash it from elsewhere, we used to use faxes, and it takes time. And
exactly.
Now you can cash and you can transact from anywhere in the world.
It was a daunting, tedious process.
Tedious process and boring,
yes.
To be honest with you. Now you can bank and transact anywhere in the world, anytime, 7 days a week, 24 hours, round the clock, regardless of your place and your position. We got the very advanced electronic banking on earth. Whether being the ATM, what's been called the SPAN 1, and SPAN 2 is, by the way, coming on the way very soon. In fact, it's on a demo level now working.
So the best in the world?
The best in the world by all means. Our ATM system, our clearance system, which is being defined as Sharia in clearing checks and what have you, and it's the best on earth, next to America and next to Japan, next to the very advanced countries.
And this is according to international.
This is according to international report, according to international visitors whom they have visited SAMA, and they called on the banks to make sure. And to make to make what I'm saying has a little bit of substance, the financial rating we had. A couple of banks, when the kingdom just was rated a couple of weeks ago by Standard & Poor's, they rated a couple of banks in Saudi very high rating, which is which is an A2, A3, which is a very high rating in a financial crisis industry. And all the banks in Saudi, they stand a very advanced rating. This doesn't come from nowhere, in the middle of nowhere. It comes from serious business and serious efforts that's put by SAMA. One. Again, but also the banks are cooperative and very cooperative with SAMA to make sure. Finally, on the banking sector, when we deal with the risk appetite, if you will, we take business, but we take business in a very modest, modern, balancing between the risk profile, if you will, and between the business itself.
Yes.
And this is why we're not part of the derivative that took place and the poison loans, as they call them, that took place in the state and elsewhere. So our conservative, to be short, our conservative has helped us to survive the worst of the financial crisis that the world is suffering from.
In spite of the fact that too much control is not good, but it wasn't too much control. It was necessary control for sustainability and
indeed,
long
it's a necessary control. I don't think it's an over done, if you will, or doing controls, but rather than a control that really SAMA did on the banks that made the banks now say to SAMA, thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent.